Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, students? I hope that you're all fine. Today in this lesson, inshallah, I'm going to start with the reading task, which is on page 46. Okay, it's on page 46 in your student box. It's an interview with a nuclear physicist. A nuclear physicist. Okay? Now, before we read the interview, let's just look at the outcomes of the lesson. احنا في عنا هون طبعا راح نكون الدرس عن اللي هو فيزياء او عالم فيزياء في او تخصص النووي، نيوكلير نووي، تمام، وفيزيست عالم فيزيائي. اوكي. Now let's look at the outcomes. خلينا نشوف ايش احنا نتاجات هذا الدرس. اوكي، طبعا النتاجات راح اقسمها على قسمين، فيديو بارت 1 and فيديو بارت 2. تمام، وفيديو بارت 2 راح يكون شامل اللي هو الكويستشنز اللي راح تكون الاسئله الموجوده عندي في page 47. So let's look at the outcomes. خلينا نشوف ايش النتاجات المفروض نتعلمها. First, read and understand an interview with a nuclear physicist. اوكي، راح نقرأ ونفهم. تمام، هذا اللقاء أو هذه المقابلة. تمام، with a nuclear physicist to answer some comprehensive multiple choice questions. Okay, we have some questions that are in the multiple choice mood or type. تمام, which are going to be on page 47. So, in this part, we are going to read a part of the interview, mention the main idea, and then inshallah we are going to continue it in the next video. So let's start with part 1. Here we have an interviewer, okay, and what's the meaning of interviewer? Interviewer اللي هو القائم على المقابلة، يعني مين اللي بيقابل. Okay, and the physicist or the nuclear physicist is Sana. Her name is Sana. So, we are going to discuss some ideas, okay, and explain some vocabulary. So it's going to be clear and obvious for you. Let's start. Interviewer. Good afternoon and welcome to your career in science. In the studio today, we have Sana, a nuclear physicist, who is going to tell us about her job. Welcome, Sana. How are you today? Hi, I'm fine, thanks. It's good to be on the show. I'm sure we'd all like to know about your job. What exactly do you do? I mostly work with nuclear engineers to produce new forms of equipment. It's hard work, but I enjoy the intellectual challenge. Can you describe a typical day at your work? Well, there isn't really ever a typical day. Sometimes I work a normal 9 to 5 day, but I might have to travel from one end to the country to the other or to get to where I am needed. Sometimes I have to work at night to complete my experiments, and at other times I have to write a report very quickly. I have to work very long hours from time to time. Okay, now, so here there is a show, okay? What is the name of the show that is interviewing Sana, or where the interviewer interviews Sana? Okay, it's what? It's Your Career in Science. Its name, Your Career in Science. So this is the name of the show. Okay, it is the name of the show. هو اسم البرنامج يا مس. Okay, what's its name? Your Career in Science. What the meaning of career? Career مهنة. Science, all of you know career in science or اللي هي مهنة في العلوم. In the studio today, we have Sana, a nuclear physicist. So what's the name of the nuclear physicist? It's Sana, okay, who is going to tell us about her job. She's going to tell about her job. Welcome, Sana. How are you today? Hi, I'm fine, thanks. It's good to be on that show. Again, what's the name of the show? It's what? Your Career in Science. Okay. Now here, the interviewer asks Sana about her job. What does she do? What does Sana do? Let's read it again and explain it. I mostly work with nuclear engineers to produce new forms of equipment. She works with what? Or with whom? With engineers, nuclear engineers, مهندسين في النووي. Okay? She works with them for what? To produce new forms of equipment لإنتاج. Okay, إيش إنتاج؟ أشكال أو نماذج جديدة. New forms نماذج جديدة من الأدوات أو المعدات. Equipment اللي هي معدات. Okay? تمام? So what does she do with nuclear engineers? What does she do with nuclear engineers? She works with nuclear engineers to produce new forms of equipment. Okay? It's hard work, but I enjoy the intellectual challenge. This sentence shows that the work is not easy. This sentence shows that the work or her job is not easy. So it's hard work means what? Not easy. صح؟ Hard work إذا مش سهل. But I enjoy the intellectual challenge. هي فعليا تستمتع بالتحديات الذهنية. Intellectual بمعنى ذهني. Intellectual ذهني وهي شو ما إيش عندي إياها. What is the part of speech of it? It's an adjective. Okay, it's an adjective. Intellectual is an adjective. Okay? Can you describe a typical day at your work? Now she's going to talk about her day and job. Okay, what does she do on her day? There isn't really ever a typical day. She says that it's not all the same. Not all her work days are the same. مش كل يوم أيامها أو أيام العمل نفس الشيء. So she doesn't have a typical نموذجي أو اللي هو مثالي. تمام؟ إيش اليوم المثالي عندها؟ So typical is also an adjective, okay, which means مثالي نموذجي. Sometimes I work in normal 9 to 5 days, okay, or day. A normal 9 to 5 day. تمام؟ تشتغل يوميا من الساعة 9 ل 5. تمام؟ تقريبا أو بعض الأحيان sometimes. This means that it's not all the days or not. She doesn't work all the days for the same time, right? But I might have to travel from one end of the country to the other to get to where I am needed. She has to travel. What's the meaning of travel? تسافر from one end of the country من أحد أطراف الدولة. For example, بتروح مثلا من عند خلينا نفترض من الشمال عندنا مثلا من إربد, and then she travels to, for example, to Aqaba. So إربد بما إنها هي على إيش شمال أقصى شمال عند الأردن, فهي تعتبر أطراف الأردن, صح؟ إلى العقبة اللي هي في الطرف الجنوبي من الأردن. So she has to travel from one end of the country to the other to get to where I am needed. حسب حاجتهم إلها. والله إحنا اليوم بحاجة وجودك مثلا عندنا في إربد. بتكون مثلا في العقبة, بتروح على إربد. بتخلص من إربد بعدها بيومين, والله إحنا محتاجينك مثلا في جرش. بتروح من إربد للجرش. إذن عدد ساعات الدوام عندها بتختلف. ليش؟ إنه she has to travel from one end of the country to اللي هي the other to get to where she is needed. Okay? Now, sometimes I have to work at night to complete my experiments. She also has to work at night. يعني مش بس إنه من 9 ل 5 بضلها شغالة مثلا خلال دوامها. No. When she also gets home, she has to work at night. She has to work at night. إذا في عندك كمان عمل بالليل في بيتها. Okay? To complete my experiments. مش بس في البيت، عندها في اللابراتوريز كمان، في المختبرات، في غير ذلك. Okay? So she has to complete her job or her work to do experiments sometimes at night. At work. خلينا نعتبرها إنه at work بلاش at home. At home ممكن تكون reports اللي هي عندك تقارير. Okay? ما إلى ذلك. لكن اللي عندك ال experiments must be done where in laboratories في اللي هم المختبرات. تمام؟ And at other times I have to write a report very quickly. ممكن كمان هي تكتب reports تقارير very quickly بشكل سريع. I have to work very long hours from time to time. إذا she has to work very long hours from time to time. All of this shows that it's not easy to be what? It's not easy to be a nuclear physicist, right? Now, depending on this, would you prefer to be a nuclear physicist or not? Please answer this question and I'll see your answers, inshallah, on the platform or the school's platform. Just give me your opinion about being a nuclear physicist. See you inshallah in the next video with part 2. يعطيكم العافية.